G'day headbangers and welcome to Dozel's Metalworks. Welcome back my fellow metalheads for a long awaited next issue of Dozel's Metalworks. It has been a minute, but quite a few things have happened. I was crook for a good few weeks, just with the flu. But because of Rex and his conditions, can't risk giving him anything that'll exacerbate anything. So yeah, that was one reason. Then I went on a cruise, so that was another one. And then the week after that, when I got back, went down to the coast for the day. So yeah, finally I'm back, fully refreshed. But I'm old, so the aches and pains come with it anyway. Anyway, we're going to go back to start doing countdowns again. So I've decided to start off this lot of countdowns with 2001. So yes, anyway, we're starting off with an honourable mention. Carnival Diablos by Annihilator. Yeah, very touch and go with me with Annihilator. I do like them a lot, but there's only two standout albums for me. But I'm trying to expand my Annihilator repertoire, I guess you could call it. So anyway, number one track for me here was Hunter Killer. Number two is Time Bomb, and number three is Shallow Grave. So that's really the only honourable mention for this week. Now I'll start off with the countdown. Everyone's favourite band at number 10, just kidding, Silver Side Up by Nickelback. Obviously this is the album that broke them into the mainstream and made them really, really famous. So yeah, How You Remind Me, obviously my favourite track for sure, that one. Never Again, lyrical content of that is pretty freaking dodgy, but anyway. Then Too Bad. So yeah, they're really only standout tracks for me on that album. Look, I wouldn't say it is my favourite album from Nickelback, but it is the album that got me into them, so, and probably most people, so yeah. Number 9, we have Wages of Sin by Arch Enemy. Now apparently someone was telling me the other day, I should have looked up into this more, this was apparently meant to be Angelo Gosso's first album with the band. Went, oh really? So I mean, I should have actually checked into that to see if it was true, but anyway. But look, top 3 tracks for me for that one was Burning Angel, number 2 Ravenous, and number 3 we had Savage Messiah. So that's that one. Alright, next we have Iowa by Slipknot. Now I'm not a huge fan of the real early Slipknot stuff. I like a lot of their later stuff. Bit more heavier and a lot less thrasher. But look, number 1 I've chose the Heretic Anthem. Number 2, which I agree with a lot of today, Peak Will Equal Shit. And number 3 we have Metabolic. So yeah, I always love that they call it Iowa, where they all hail from. So yeah, bunch of lads. Number 7, we have Nuclear Fire by Primal Fear. Had to listen to this one a few times to pick my favourite tracks, but I went with Angel in Black at number 1, Red Rain at number 2, and number 3, Eye of an Eagle. So yeah, not too bad of an album, but I still prefer some of their later stuff. Number 6, I used to own this many, many years ago. Just the name of the album is controversial, I guess. God Hates Us All by Slayer. Now my favourite track, I actually used as my entrance music for about one show, I think, many, many years ago, and that is Threshold. Great opening riff there. Number 2, we have Disciple, where he actually yells out, God Hates Us All, so that's why that's there. And, of course, number 3, we have Warzone. But, yeah, it's probably one of my later Slayer albums that I really, really like, so, yeah. Number 5, we have Sinner by Drowning Pool. Now, listening to this again for the first time in years was quite refreshing. Listened to the whole album and actually found it really, really good album. Actually pretty underrated, I think. But look, number 1 is everyone's favourite Drowning Pool song, which is Bodies, because pretty much everyone knows it. Then the title track, Sinner, is pretty sweet. And then All Over Me, third one as well. But like, the whole album is pretty decent. So get a chance to listen to that one. Get into it. Number 4, we have Digimortal by Fear Factory. To me, probably one of their big 3 albums, I guess, from the earlier days. But look, number 1 is Linchpin, which I actually used as my entrance music for one of my characters in wrestling. Number 2 is No One. And number 3 is Visible Wounds, Dark Bodies. Again, look, the whole album's pretty sweet. Fear Factory is one of the few bands which are classed as industrial metal that I actually enjoy listening to. So, yeah, the other one is obviously Rammstein, which, to me, take them or leave them. Number 3, we have The World Needs a Hero by Megadeth. Now, I actually thought I had that on CD, but I don't, so that kind of sucks. Now, this is where I first saw Megadeth on tour here in Australia many, many years ago when they did that tour. I think they had the Australian band Psycore as their opening act. Yeah, good to see them in concert here. But track number 1 is obviously Return to Hangar. Number 2, Motorpsycho. And number 3, because when I was listening to the album the other day, this song is semi-ballady. But yeah, really enjoyed listening to it. So I said, yeah, probably put that in there and that. So yeah, there you go. Alright, number 2, Horror Show by Iced Earth. Look, this is a concept album, all about the classic horror villains or creatures or characters from the classic horror genre back in the day. Yeah, it's a really, really good album. They do a cover of Transylvania by Iron Maiden, but I didn't put that in this list. But number 1 is Damien, obviously based on the Omen movies, that evil little shit. The Phantom Opera Ghost, based on the Phantom of the Opera. And Jack, based on Jack the Ripper, who, not condoning what he did of course, but I find him absolutely fascinating, that he did all these horrific murders back in Whitechapel in 1888, and they never caught the dude. Got away with it. So I went, yeah, that's just, wow. But yeah, decent album with all that other stuff they got on it as well. And at number 1, I was actually kind of annoyed that this is the only album I had from 2001, but I have Demolition by Judas Priest. Now, this is one of the albums that cops a lot of flack. And like I was saying to Rex before and a few other people over the past couple of days, look, a lot of people hated on Jugulator and Demolition because they didn't find they were good Priest. I love them both. You know, it's Priest. Tim the Ripper is one of the best vocalists in metal in my eyes, and I think he did a great job of both albums. But yeah, this is my pick for number 1 for 2001. And my favourite tracks are Hell Is Home, Devil Digger, and Bloodsuckers. I was actually hoping the song Bloodsuckers was on the vampires, but no, it's all on freaking lawyers and shit like that. So, found that's highly amusing. But look, thanks to my beautiful fiancée Judy, who managed to get this for me and Jugulator on eBay for me, and both at decent prices, not some knob jockey trying to rip me off. So, look, highly underrated. Should really give it a good listen. And yeah. Now, one other thing in 2001 that I really enjoyed, quick mention, thanks to Manny for lending me this, A Knight's Tale, released 2001, featuring the late great Heath Ledger. It's got, I won't go into what the plot's about, but it's got a really, really good soundtrack. And this is the special edition. Now, if you haven't watched it, give it a go, because it's a fantastic movie. So yeah, check that one out. Now, because it has been a while, I've got a few rest in pieces here. Obviously from last month, obviously, for some of them. Now, we'll start off with Roberta Flack, African-American woman, soul musician. Was really popular back in the day. I've probably heard some of her stuff, but yeah, she was a great loss. Another one which was a hell of a shock to me, Michelle Trachtenberg, Now, some people go, who's that? Apparently she was in Eurotrip, but I've never seen it. But to me, she was the actress who played Dawn, Buffy's sister in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Next we have the late, great Gene Hackman. Both him and his wife, and apparently one of their dogs, passed away all at the same time, which is a bit of a shock. But Gene Hackman, my most memorable roles from him was Lex Luthor in the early Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Plus, he played the coach in The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. Gridiron movie, that's a great one. Another late great actor who was absolutely amazing was Val Kilmer. Now, obviously, a lot of people knew him as Batman in Batman Forever. I actually liked him in that. It was pretty decent. Top Secret, his very first movie. It's a bit of a comedy. Saw him in that. Another one which you guys should definitely watch is called Ghost in the Darkness. That's a fantastic movie. And he also voiced the role of Kit in the new Knight Rider TV series reboot. Only lasted one season, but he did the voice of Kit. But look, he was a fantastic actor because obviously a lot of people knew him as Iceman in Top Gun, even the new one. So yeah, that's a great loss. So rest in peace, those dudes. And then of course the big one recently. This one was soul crushing. Les Binks, who was a drummer for Judas Priest for the studio albums Stained Class and Killing Machine, and the live album Unleashed in the East. He actually died in March, but they didn't let us know till April, so I don't know why they did that. Who knows? But yeah, that was a great loss to the metal world because he was inducted at the Hall of Fame, whenever it was, 1 or 2 years ago. He played there on stage with Scott Travis. So yeah, massive rest in peace to Les Binks. But yeah, anyway, that's my shout out to the RIPs, plus my top 10 albums on 2001. Good to be back doing this stuff. Absolutely love it. And until next time, Mosh on.